Bang, here we are, still moving, home grading suite setup. I'm sure a lot of people have had to do similar things over the past couple of weeks. We've had to adapt, we've had to move people into their homes with all their setups, and this is what I'm doing now. I'm set up in the guitar music room of my house. I used to be a professional guitarist, so I did that for a long, long time.
요거소 큐참.
That's why there are so many guitars. This is about a quarter of them. And it's weird when you have to move from a dedicated workspace to your home after having worked in your home for a long time, building up, going to the grading suites, and then coming back. You approach it again with fresh eyes and you try to make it better than your home office used to be. I'm sure some people still work from their home, so maybe you'll get something out of this. So what have we got? 27-inch ISO screen behind me, that's on a riser, just taking it up so that I've got a bit more space on the desk because it's a small desk, my wife's antique desk. Have to treat that nicely, but it's a little bit smaller than I would ideally like, so having that riser means I can get the Blackmagic micro grading panel underneath it and pull it out when I need to. I've got the editor keyboard just here. I pulled out the drawers, put a piece of wood on them, and then I can have the editor keyboard in front. It means that I'm a little bit further from the monitor, which I prefer. I don't like to be right up inside the monitor when I'm grading or editing. It's less strain on my eyes, and also it means that ergonomically everything's laid out a bit better. Got the Logitech MX Master mouse just there. That's the kind of mouse I prefer. I don't really use the function buttons all that much, but I like the shape of it and it just feels right. Got the eGPU Pro, that's plumbed into the ISO screen. And that is then hooked up to my MacBook Pro 15-inch, and that's in a vertical stand, helps with the heat dissipation. And attached to that, I've got all my fast SSDs so I can continue to work at high speed even in this home office setup. Now, aside from all the computer setup, I do have 3 Manfrotto Lycos panels in this room as well. They're all daylight balanced, so it's close to the kind of range that I would like if I was in my proper grading suite. One of them is bouncing up to the ceiling, giving a nice soft ambient level. One of them is behind the screen, really dialed down just to make sure that I'm not looking at the screen and it's the brightest thing in my field of view and everything else is in darkness, so just to give a little bit of light behind the screen, that's important. And then finally there's another one just bouncing into the wall over there, just again, light general ambient. I'm not having anything direct on anything, no spotty, sharp, direct light. It's all just nice base level ambience. Now the wonderful thing about those is I put them on the iPad app, I can dial them up and down, and it means that we can get the level dialed in to the right level for the screen. And when you are grading, you want the screen level to be set at its optimal so that it is at the right level for all of the proper grading level contrast ratios that you're going to expect, and also the color rendition of that screen. Having it really bright isn't going to do your grades any favors, so bringing the light level of the room down is actually really important, but having it at a level where you're not straining your eyes is also important. It's a balancing act. Now, the one other thing that I've done to control the lighting in here is use a blackout blind, the kind of thing that you'd use if you've got a baby and you want it to sleep and it's bright outside. Suction cups to the window, and then you just pull the little cord tight. Pops up like a Lastalite diffuser or reflector, so if you use those you'll be familiar with it, and that really does a great job of blocking out any of the natural light, so I'm getting my editor tan completely at the moment. Now we actually have these for when we go out and do shoots and we need to control lighting in a space if there's just windows around that are just having light flying everywhere. This actually is one of the easiest ways that you can control it rather than bring in flags or frames. Suction cup one of these to a window. They're really lightweight, they fold down pretty small, you can have a couple of them, and it's always in our kit. A grading suite set up in a family home would not be complete without some kind of defense mechanism, and for me, that's a Nerf Mastodon modified with a Core SWX Neo battery so it fires really fast, really hard, mounted onto a Manfrotto fast tripod by the door like a Gatling gun, ready to drive away the children when they try and invade. That's how we got it set up. It's not absolutely perfect. There are flaws in it. For example, the paint in this room is not 100% pigment-free neutral grey like it should be perhaps if we're in the grading suite, but it does enough. And for what we're trying to do just here, continue to work and produce consistent results, it definitely does the job. The most important thing when you're doing this kind of work, grading things, and you're trying to push it at a high level, is to make sure that you're in a consistent environment. So if you're working in this room at the beginning of the day, bright sunlight, direct sunlight coming straight in across the entire desk here. Then move to midday, we've got kind of a skylight ambience just coming in, so really cool blue light coming in just then. And then if we move through to the evening and we've got the house lights on and all the light from the windows gone, and it's now at 3200 Kelvin rather than 56 or 6000 with no direct light, it's just that kind of top spotlight coming in. That's going to be terrible because you've got 3 different lighting states. Your grading is going to look different at the beginning of the day, from the middle of the day to the end of the day, and your eyes aren't going to be able to make a proper judgment on it. So by doing this, we keep consistency throughout the entire day, and every day when I come in, regardless of whether it's cloudy or sunny or anything, I know that we have the grading suite set up for that consistent level throughout the entire process. So whatever you're doing, look at your ergonomics, look at how often you're going to have to reach and get something, try and bring it into where you're going to find that it's in that zone without you having to strain or hold your arms in a tense position. And then finally look at the lighting in the space as well, because that can really help you to achieve a much more consistent output.